Hello. Welcome back to Exotic Wine Travel. I am your host, Matthew Horkey.
Hi, I'm Shireen Tan.
And we have a special guest today, Clive Pursehouse. We'll talk about him in a second. So we have to be a little bit quiet because it's late at night. It's about midnight in a hotel here in France. But we're going to be doing an interesting tasting. Shireen and I just got back from Chateauneuf-du-Pape. And Clive is actually from Washington, in the state of Washington. So we're going to do a Washington GSM versus a Chateauneuf-du-Pape tasting challenge. Before we get started, you want to talk a little bit about who you are, what you write for, yada, yada, yada?
Yeah, I got my start as a Northwest wine blogger. I'm currently the culture and travel editor for a cycling lifestyle magazine called Pelaton, where I write about wine and food and travel. And I saw these guys doing a tasting of some Washington Syrahs, and I wrote them a few comments about the Tenet wine, and next thing you know, they were going to be in Chateauneuf-du-Pape, and so that's kind of how this came together.
And it's really cool. Clive's a great guy, knows his wine really well, really passionate about Washington wine. Also write for a Washington wine blog, right?
Yeah.
Occasionally. I'll put that link in the description box here. So, we're doing different vintages, of course, different styles, but I thought it'd just be fun to taste. What do you want to start with, the Chateauneuf-du-Pape or the Tenet?
Chateauneuf-du-Papa.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Just because the alcohol is lower.
we have the Domaine de la Charbonnière Chateauneuf-du-Pape 2015. Shireen is the one who picked this wine for the challenge. Why did you pick this one?
So all responsibility on me. So first of all, we tasted a 2009 of this winery, and it aged really well. It's also, as a whole, the entire portfolio is much more elegant, more finesse. And I think it's not overripe. It has this aromatic compound that is still very present. Yeah.
2015, I really like this wine. 15 was a great vintage in Chateauneuf-du-Pape, as well as 16. Let's give this a little bit of a go here.
For me, immediately the Grenache jumps out.
Yes,
to
it
me.
does,
Yeah.
aromatically for sure.
I get a lot of strawberry, pepper, meaty notes. As other
a
people,
live
other
audience
people on
here.
our trip are saying hello to us here.
Rose.
Rose petals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not a lot of bread. Really clean Chateauneuf-du-Pape. You agree?
I wouldn't have picked anything with a lot of bread.
Let's give this a little go. What do you guys get on the palate here?
A lot of pepper. And the finish.
This to me is what I like in Grenache. A lot of strawberry, like sweet strawberry jam, pepper.
This reminded me of why I picked this wine in the first place, because of the structure. Very linear, a bit of silkiness, and then the tannins hit you.
Yeah,
The alcohol doesn't creep up on you,
it's
right?
very structured, and you could tell this wine would last a long time. Yeah.
I think we already scored this wine when we tasted it. I would think I was in the 92-point range type deal.
This is not the top bottling.
No, this is
like
the standard
second.
bottling. What quality? You know, you can score. You don't have to score. What kind of quality level are you on this?
I would pay, $40, $50 probably for this bottle.
Ooh, I think that's what retails for in the
Yeah.
U.S. actually. So, finish that up, and so it's a win.
It's a good wine.
It's a nice
I
one.
think with a lot of potential for 4 or 5 years from now.
So, let's move on, shall we? We have Tenet, the GSM 2014. It's a different vintage, Columbia Valley. Philip Canby, actually a famous Chateauneuf-du-Pape consultant, is
the color.
a winemaker in this. We actually just judged with him at a Chateauneuf-du-Pape competition, which is pretty ironic. This is a project of Chateau Ste. Michelle, right?
Chateau Ste. Michelle, which is Washington, really founded the Washington wine industry, and there wouldn't be a Washington wine industry without that winery. And today you can talk to little operators, and they'll tell you about stories they have where they have a problem with their wine. They get on the phone, and someone at Chateau Ste. Michelle will talk to them for 2-3 hours, just helping them sort of troubleshoot.
Right.
There's no one in Washington will say a bad word about that operation, because they're just a world-class organization.
Biggest Riesling producer in the world, right?
It's true. Yeah, they do a lot of work with Ernst Lucen. This vintage was one of Washington's had a lot of hot vintages the last 5 years, but this was one of the hottest, warmest in a long time. So it's going to be a big wine, I'm assuming.
15.5, 2014. Of course, like I said, this is not the same vintages, but similar blends. It's just kind of fun to do. 15.5 alcohol, 95 points. Wine advocate.
huge, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
So
So
You know,
really
it doesn't
darker aromatics.
smell as big as I would expect.
I mean, it smells like some of his wines from Chateauneuf-du-Pape, actually.
Phillips.
Yeah,
Philip
and I think for me the Syrah jumps right out first before the Grenache.
This is mostly. Do you know?
It's mostly Grenache,
you
and then
can
I
see
think
the back,
half
yeah.
again, the other
Okay.
2 or something.
43% Grenache, 35 Syrah, 22 Mourvedre.
The Mourvedre actually shows the meatiness on the nose as well.
This is, you know what? This is quite refined, not just a fruit jam bomb like I was expecting,
no.
right? You get some violets, a little bit of black olive, dark fruit, pepper.
Yeah, I get a really dark, like a core of dark fruit on the
Yeah.
aromatics. Maybe a little dried fig.
Let's give it a go on the palate. What are you guys picking up?
Oh man,
It's nice,
nice.
wine. Nice
Yeah,
wine.
It's nice wine. Yeah, you know, super polished tannins.
Yeah.
Big boy wine. This is big. Bring out the Flintstone steak.
Yeah,
bring
yeah.
out
This is
bring
a
out the
steak that's
tomahawk.
nearly raw, yeah.
Yeah.
I like this though. This is definitely going to appeal to somebody that wants a bigger wine. Me personally, I kind of like this style a little bit more, but I'm definitely not kicking this off the dinner table. 95 is a bit high for me. I'm 92. I'm still in the 92, 93 range. I think it's pretty impressive stuff. What about you? What do you think?
I think this would score 1 point above the other one for me, about 1
yeah?
or 2 points, because
Yeah.
I love the Mourvedre tannins. I think it's just hard to dismiss that Mourvedre kind of structure and tannins that really push this up a little bit more.
It's funny because I think I was expecting this wine to be maybe jammier than it really is, but it's pretty savory.
Yeah,
and it's,
yeah.
it's pretty classy wine.
It's pretty
Yeah.
impressive,
Yeah.
actually. We just did the Tenet, the basic pundit Syrah. I think this is impressive. What are you two preferring out of the two?
I'm shockingly, I'm preferring the Washington wine. Like I tend to have a European sort of palate, but I think this wine feels a little more structured, where this wine sort of fleshes out in
Yeah.
the Tenet sort of fleshes out in your mouth a little bit more. So I like it.
I think you're just being a homer.
Yeah.
What do you?
I would want to drink this right now, okay? But if I have food or if I have a fresher palate like tomorrow, I would definitely pick this. Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to go wrong with either wines. I think this is retails $80, I think, right? In the U.S., it's not cheap.
Is it that much? Yeah, it may be. I think it's a little bit lower than that, but maybe in the $60 range. I don't know the exact price of it.
So, I don't know. But both job. I mean, I'm glad these wines were not corked. I'm glad that they showed
Yeah.
pretty well. Anything else you want to add on GSM? Washington? You want to say anything about Washington?
I just think Washington. I would say you could drink their Syrahs against anybody in the world, and I truly believe that you'll be blown away by the Syrah, and Syrah, varietal Syrah, or Syrah blends. It's a world class wine region there.
Do you think that's the reason why the Syrah jumps out first
It's
in this
possible.
blend?
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, Washington has really made its name on Syrah with Cayuse and some of these other sort of cult producers, and I do think that it's hard to sell Syrah, and that's part of the challenge, is that Syrah is a very terroir sort of driven wine that, and a lot of American consumers especially, they really want what they want or what they expect when they open a bottle, and Syrah can be confusing the same way that Pinot Noir can be
Yeah.
confusing.
Yeah.
But I do think this is an example of sort of like Washington is on a world stage. Just people haven't really fully caught up.
Well, I think in the U.S., but maybe not outside the U.S. I mean, I want to get into Washington wines more. I've enjoyed everything that I've had. Yeah, guys, check it out. This is going to be for the bigger, bolder. This is maybe somebody more classical European palate. You're not going to go wrong with either. I'll put the links in the description box. I'll put some of Clive's work in the description box. And if you like this video,
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Exotic Wine Travel, I will see you at the next
Cheers.
episode. Cheers. Good episode.